But please welcome our hometown hero, Grapevine's own space hero, Wally Funk.
Woo! Thank you, honey. Well, I just can't believe that you all are here, and some I know and some I don't know, so it's just great to be here. And can you hear me back there? Because I don't use a mic. I've spoken to 1,000 people in an auditorium without a mic. My voice carries. If you have a question, don't hesitate to put your hand up. Okay, do you want me to? No, I don't want that. Well, it's okay. Stay. I'll tell you when to change it. Let me get my stuff out here.
I have a concern.
Yes, ma'am.
Your phone. Okay.
That's my home. Okay, for any of you that don't know, there's a book out called Higher, Faster. Oh, we need some light up here. Don't go away. Higher, faster, longer. You get it off your computer with Amazon, and you'll have it in 4 days. So she's reading it, and I said, I need to be sitting right next to you because I want to be next to you when you're reading it slowly, not fast. I've had 6 books written about me, and this is the best one that's ever come out. And then, do I have any pilots? Any girl pilots? Are you a 99?
Yes, sorry.
Did you get this?
Yes.
Okay, this is the 99 magazine, and if there's a way for somebody to go make copies that want copies of what I did and where I was, somebody will just have to go outside and make copies for you so that you can have them. Okay, well, it's a pleasure and great to be here with you tonight. First of all, I'm going to take a picture of you all. Okay, you all smile back there. Put your hand up. Perfect. That's on, isn't it? Okay, that means that, am I doing it double? No. Okay. There's even from Oklahoma State. Now, what she did not say is that when I was 14, I got my Distinguished Rifleman's Award. You all don't know what that is. Who are, any shooters in here? Shooters. I had BB guns and pistols when I was 7 or 8 years old, and then I got with the company there in Taos. And Taos, New Mexico is my home, and by 14, prone, kneeling, sitting, and offhand, I made all of the targets perfect bullseyes. My instructor was so happy, he sent my targets to NRA in Washington, and they got to the president, and I got a note back from President Eisenhower. I mean, how great could that be? So, went to Stevens to get my private. Then, that was only a 2-year school, and you had to be really dressed up. And Mother said, how are we going to do that? I said, I don't know, because I want to wear pants and T-shirts. She said, you've got to wear white dress on Sunday and for all your meals. So I did that. I was brought up very aristocratically from my parents and my grandparents. Can you see me from there? Okay. And there was nothing ever went wrong. I have never had anything go wrong with me. I don't drink, I don't cuss, I don't do things that are unnatural. I said, sure, I'm going to go. He can answer for me. He's known me for 10 years. He's the greatest guy in the world. So, you want to see that while we're talking? Anyway, I just am so happy I'm here with you all. Now, okay, you know that I was born in Taos with a great ability, I always had a great attitude. That's what my parents had me do for life, and had very forward-thinking parents. And of course, they made me forward-thinking. Father had 3, 5, and 10s. They came from Albany, Illinois to Taos. So that's all I know. Taos was only 2,000 people. Now, what you're seeing, I'll trip over this. This is the Pueblo. Taos is here about 2 or 3 miles. How many people have been there? Oh, good. You know what I'm talking about. What's that mountain called? The spirit of the Taos Mountain. The spirit. Mother said, when you look at that mountain, I'm 2 years old. Put your blinds aside, and you look at the Taos Mountain. It always has snow on it. Not the one on the right, but the tall one. You look at it, you don't pray, you look at it. Of course, I'm supposed to be north. And it tells me what to do. I don't ask for anything, I don't pray to it, and the Spirit comes to my heart and tells me what I'm going to do that day. And today, I knew I was going to be with all of you. That's how my life has worked through everything I've done. And yes, for a girl, I've done a lot. So anyway, the folks were really great to me. And I've never had any fears. I always understood about things. I could work on your car. I was working on cars when I was 10, 11 years old. I knew how to drive a tractor. I knew how to drive a Jeep. My godmother would live way out with animals, and I could go out there about every 3 or 4 days. And then I'd say, Mother, I want to go to Mrs. James because she has an outside John. I loved it. Open the door, go in, close it. Didn't have to do anything. And then she had a stove that you had to put wood in and made the best dinners and food that you could imagine. Well, Mother always did very well, but it was wonderful going out to Mrs. James. So I learned a lot being by myself and going out there and hitchhiking and riding my bike, because I had a bike when I was really young. And I've had no fears, and I learned about things very, very quickly, and I have not had any failures. Now, you'll notice I'm impulsive, I'm spontaneous, I'm practical, and I'm bold. I'm very responsible. If somebody comes up to me, I'm going to pretend you're the guy. Okay. I needed to get into space in the early 60s. So I had taken all the tests in New Mexico, which was part of the Mercury 13. And then I got in my camper and I said to Daddy, I think I'm going to get a camper, a Volkswagen in Europe. And I'm going to do that right after I graduated from Oklahoma State, after I got all my licenses. So I wanted to travel, because we had always traveled. So Mother said, okay, I'm going to sew a $1,000 bill in your underpants. In case you ever need any money, you've got it. But don't take it off right there where you're standing. So I went overseas in my Volkswagen, and I was there for 2.5 years. I did all of Europe, all of it, the Mideast. Then I went down to Africa. I was on ships, boats, whatever. Didn't matter. Whenever I was in something, I wanted to go right down to the engine and see how everything worked. I'll tell you, well, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I've been over to England on the, what was the ship called?
Queen Mary.
Queen Mary. And I was invited I got to sit with the captain every dinner, but I wanted to go downstairs and look at all the engine stuff, and then I wanted to go up and see where he was. So I did all of that on that 1 week, but guess what I came back on? What would have been the best airplane to come back to America?
SST. Concorde.
Concorde. Right, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. So I went over on the best and I came back on the best. And that's just the way I run my life.
Did you ever get your $1,000 out of your pennies?
Never had to. Thank you. The reason I went over to Europe so quickly, by myself, I took my little Caniche Mignon, my little poodle, just stuck it in a thing and carried it on the airplane. They never knew. And they knew so many people in Europe and in Africa, because Father had done 5 and 10 business with them. And then, of course, I knew all the artists in Taos. If you know that Taos was the biggest artist colony there ever was, I knew all of them. I knew where they came from in Europe. So that was another wonderful way of me getting to know where I'm going to go stay. So, that's just me. I knew how to do things. So I've been tough on my students. I've had over 4,000 students that I've soloed, that I've put through. I've been flying. Well, wait a minute. Let me go back. When I was 2 years old, about like that, the folks had me at the airport out at Taos, and I went right up to that DC-3. Pretend like you're a DC-3. Yeah! And I wanted to try to turn the nuts on that wheel. Why would a 2-year-old want to learn that the wheel nuts were tight? For reasons that you didn't want to lose a tire. And Mother said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm checking the nuts on this tire." Mother said, "She's going to fly." That was the first indication. So I marched to my own drummer. So in reality, I'm just the kid next door. I don't like to be this or that or something else. Now, what I learned from my grandfather is if you want to become smart, you must associate with smart people. And that's what I'm doing right now. Associating with you all. And then to become skilled, as you can tell, I speak to more younger people, but this is okay. You can take this to, high school, so on. Take this to your grandkids or your children. Associate with smart people. I've done that. Become skilled and competent and professional and wise and know where you want to be in 5 and 10 years. Children don't know. Do you know that I would go to some of these homes and they're in there with their thing, playing with their... I never had one. I still don't have one. I have one telephone, a landline, no computer, and I get along just fine. People, when they want me to come, several places in the United States, they brought their airplanes in, their jets in and pick me up. They come out from the airport and pick me up, and off I go. And that's the way I did it with Jeff. But anyway, get to that in a minute. Mother would always say, "Don't go faster than your angel can fly." Don't go faster than your angel can fly. Okay. Stress. I like to bring this out because you could take it to your kids. Stress is when you lose faith. And a lot of people replace it with fear. You can't do that. I've never had a fear in my life. Everything's just been great. I've always been happy. I've never been upset or mad. Mother said, if you ever get mad at somebody, say, "Bye," you walk away. Now, the Indians taught me, throw it a fish. When you get the book, You'll have in there, throw it a fish quite a few times. That's what they taught me. You don't have to say anything. Yeah, okay, I'm going to do one more thing now. I had to have an engineering degree to get in with NASA. That's the only thing I didn't have. Had all the flight hours. I've got 19,600 flight hours. Do you know how many people I have put through? Hundreds and hundreds. So I went up to the college in Kansas, and I went up to the gentleman, and I said, "Sir, I would like to come to the college here and get my engineering degree." And he hit me on the shoulder. He says, "You're a girl, go to home ec." That's the only time anybody has ever said anything so stupid. And then he hit me a little harder than that. And I said, "Throw you a fish," and I walked away. No, somebody the other day says, "Why don't you, if somebody gets in your way, why don't you hit them?" I said, "Are you kidding? I'm not that type of person. I would never strike at anybody. I would only love." Okay. Many people would rather do nothing than fail or make a mistake. And I bet you all can relate to that. Don't do it. Throw it a fish. Get rid of it. And then another thing is, people ask me, "Are you judgmental or I'm tolerant. I'm very tolerant of everything, but I might not say yes. And I am I'm not negative. And I want to put that on to you all. You do not need to be negative to anything. So, don't need to be judgmental and so forth. Knowledge is the power that gives us wings to soar. And for some reason, that spirit gave me that power. It's been wonderful. I've learned to soar in many occasions, be dressed up to the nines. When I went to Stevens, when I went over here to Oklahoma State, we had to have big gowns on and go to, I was an Alpha Chi Omega. Anybody that? All right, good. So this particular time, and then I had a person that was going to dance. So I did one dance, and I said, "Gee, it was really nice to meet you. I'll see you later." I went right up to my room, changed clothes, climbed out the window, and drove to the airport. I had somebody waiting to take me up that night. So yeah, I'll do the things that they're supposed to. So knowledge is the power that gives us the wings to soar. And you can achieve so much because where your focus has to be. Your focus has to be right straight where you're going. As you can tell, my character is strong, and I've had a great time of success. Whenever, are we doing okay on the filming? No, I'm just asking. You know, there's certain people that want to hear certain things. You all know that. And if you're not going to provide it, throw it a fish and start another conversation or change whatever. You don't have to be locked into something. You don't know how many times I've been locked in an airplane or a bus or wherever with people that want to talk about their grandparents or grandchildren or whatever. And I said, "Thank you very much. I'm going to read the paper and read about flying." So I always have a paper with me. And I don't really, I'm nice about it, but I don't have to be in their world because they're not in my world. You know, this thing looks great. Oh.
my phone, you want
It's,
it?
well, I'll take the
It's
whole,
attached, but I'll unattach it just for you, because you're
Oh.
special.
well, no, I'll take the purse.
Okay.
That's what I wish that I knew how to work. And somebody showed it, goes right on your dash, tells you where to go. Well, I've always, sorry, hon.
That's okay.
I've always had maps, car maps, charts. We have charts that we fly by. They're getting lesser and lesser. So I have kept a lot of my charts so I'll know how to go to whatever city you might want me to go to. So, yeah, I've had to change my way a little bit, but I get around all right. All right. Let's go on to the slides here. And you still have my magazine, right? No. Okay. So now you know that Taos Mountain gave me everything that I've done in my life. I have accomplished a great deal. If you go to wallyfly.com and the word 99s will come up in blue. Just put your finger on that, and that'll tell you my life that I have written 16, 17 years ago. And nobody, I don't tell many people that, but that you go to wallyfly.com on your computer, and then I'll just be dressed like this when the picture comes up, and then you look for the 99s that's written out, N-I-N-I-G-A-T-Y. Yeah, go ahead and try it, see if you get it. And that will take about 30 seconds, and then I'll come up in my uniform. And that is the area you want to be in. So,
Wally, would you tell them what the 99s are? A lot of
oh,
people don't know.
sure. 99s, thank you. Back in 1929, Amelia Earhart and a bunch of girls were in New York, and they were all talking and said, gosh, we're all pilots. How many are we here? Are we about 50? Whatever. So they're all talking and, okay, that's it. Now, you see where that is? Now, do you see where the 99 is?
Yeah.
Okay, push on that. It'll take a few seconds. There.
There she is.
You ask this young lady how to do it, and she'll tell you. Okay, the 99, somebody says, what are we going to call ourselves? There were 99 girls there. Well, we're going to be the 99s. That has been on forever. I was a 99 when I got my license, my private license, at 14. I've been a life member all my life. And there in Oklahoma City has the, can you all see that? Our headquarters in Oklahoma City. So it's a great organization. I don't know if you've ever heard of it before. You heard, yeah. You have to go fly. You have a 172? Woo! I used to have a 150, 152, 172, and a 182, and a Stearman. A Stearman is 4 wings, open cockpit, no headset. You have to really climb up in it. The pilot sits in the back. I have to sit in the front. So when I need to tell him something, I have to get out of my chair and put one leg on the wing and turn around and say, if you come back on your RPM a little bit more, you'll land smoother. And it worked. I could yell at him to say what to do. Well, I did that a couple times. This is in Hawthorne, California. And then I get a phone call, and the tower says, Wally, stay in the cockpit. Okay, so you know that guides me. Okay, you want me to say okay? Okay, all right. Say okay. What was I doing there? I've already told you. Checking the nut on that DC-3 wheel. Now, Mother had flown when she was, I don't know, 16, 17, 18, and she was so happy that she saw me bending down doing that, that when she went home and told her father, this is back in Mattoon, Illinois, he got so mad at her, he said, "Don't you ever get in an airplane again." It shattered her because she wanted to fly. So, that is how she treated me, because she didn't get treated that way. She treated me excellent, with no fear. Everything was great. Okay, next one. That's the house that I built in Taos, adobe house. I put the adobes 2 on each wall. I wanted no heat, and I didn't want to have any air conditioning. So that is a thick, thick house. Now, the little house off to the right where that bush is was where my bathroom and, the bedroom and the kitchen was. Then I built what you see is the garage now, was where I was putting my airplanes. Then I built a 2-story house, and that's where I entertained upstairs. And they took care of me so well whenever I needed something. I wish I had a picture of them. So that's my home in Taos. I've sold it, and I've gone back. And can you believe the new people painted it white? Next one. When I was out there around the trees, I was scuffling around and kicking stuff, and I said, look at this. Oh, look at this. I collected a lot of, what are those? Pot shards. You can see where the dark is where it was on the fire, and then where you might eat out of or drink out of where it has the little lines on it. I took it to a gentleman in Taos who was a very smart guy, and I said, I need to know when these were made. He had them for a couple of days. He said, Wally, you're not going to believe this. 1682 is when the Indians were there. 1682. I can't hang those up like I want to. I want them on the wall because they kept falling off. Okay, next. That's when I was shooting and doing flying. Sure, I have a Roy Rogers shirt on. Yeah.
I got a Roy Rogers waistband.
Good girl. How many more have them when you were a kid? So that's what I looked like when I was a kid running around. Mother said, don't you want to learn about taking care of everything? I said, no, I'll make my bed, and then I want to be outside. I want to work outside. I want to be with the animals. I want to do all the things I want to do. I did skiing, shooting, cars, bow and arrows, anything you can think of, I've had my chance at it. Next one. And then that's when I was 14 and I got my Distinguished Rifleman's Award, and you all probably really don't know what that award is, do you? That is the highest award anybody can get out of Washington for perfect targets. So that's the gun I use it with, and then I got these pistols, which were fantastic, and right now, since I've moved so much, I've sold them. But that was a great time. Next. And that's my jacket. Now, I need some help from you guys. I've got a lot of uniforms and that jacket. Where should it go? Should it go to a museum?
I think so. Yeah.
Or where? I need your help on that. Okay. This is the Distinguished Award, Distinguished Rifleman Award. These were you had to do certain things to get each one of these medals. And I loved that shooting. I carried my bag for a mile from the house down to where we used to shoot in the armory. And I still have that red case. And it's great. So if anybody has an idea, I looked at, and I have 3 or 4 uniforms when I was with the Army, and when I did other things as a chief pilot. I've been a chief pilot that many times to that many schools around the United States. And then when I was in India, I taught a girl to fly, Manu, and she then became a pilot for Indian Airlines. So I've got a lot of my students with the airlines today. Next. And then that was my first airplane. 150. Look familiar? Oh, that was great. Okay, next. My one and only. I loved it. I should have never sold it. That is the Stearman 57173. Right now, it is up in, oh gosh, I think north of Seattle. There are 100 pieces of wing. What do I, the name's gone out of my head. Not strut. Part of the wing. Made out of, say again, I can't hear you.
Wing spars? We have the wing spars?
No, not the spar. The spars hold them together. Anyway, there are over 200 of those things. You can see where the lines are from the material. And then there's some in the rudder, not the rudder, but the elevator. Well, somebody sent me one of those, the spar. And it's about this high. And it came in the mail. I have it in my living room. It's great. There are 200 of them in that airplane. And it is, my spar that I got was so getting kind of rotten that I don't know how much more I could have flown it. I probably have 400 or 500 hours in it. But it was the greatest airplane. Nowadays, they're painting them yellow and white because the Navy wants them. So I guess that's what it's going to look like when it comes out. But had a 150 engine in it, and that's me sitting up front. So now you can see how I got out of my seat, onto the wing, to talk to the pilot behind me. Next one. Okay, then I fly helicopters, and that was just somebody's helicopter that I happened to fly. Now, when I went with, and I don't have those pictures here, Jeff had his Pilates. That was a beautiful jet. Came here at DFW to pick me up. I got, the captain said, Wally, you want to fly? I said, yes. But boy, I sat down in the first officer's seat, took the airplane off, flew it over to West Texas, landed it. It was fabulous. And he didn't know I'd flown it until I told him. Then his girlfriend, which I think I have some pictures that I'll show you when we're finished with these things. She's always dressed in white, and she owns a helicopter company. Can you imagine? Jeff owns a jet, goes all over, and his girlfriend owns a helicopter company. So it wasn't like that, but it was almost. Next one. Okay, that's when I'm flying at Fort Sill to T-33, and well, I don't know. I have 100 or so hours in that. That was fantastic.
How many female pilots were there with you at Fort Sill?
I'm sorry?
How many female pilots were there
None.
at Fort Sill? No, you were it.
I've been the only girl in a lot of things. That's why that guy hit me on the shoulder and said, you're a girl, go to home ec.
Did you know any of the WASPs?
Oh, heavens, yes. I went down to Sweetwater a lot in the last 10 years. I went there the first of this year. Do you know who the WASPs are? Mm-hmm. They're the lady pilots from back in the 40s. And then finally they got to get into higher positions with the airlines, or the airplanes. There are only about that many left, and they're all in one. I'm sorry?
No, my mother was a pilot. She was in the Army during the war, but she wasn't a pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, they were wonderful people, and they were so great, and I loved to be with them. And I guess we're not going to go back to Sweetwater much anymore because they've redone everything. They used to have their pictures all over the walls, and then Each one of them had 2 handprints in, had anybody been there? Have you been to Sweetwater? Had their handprints in concrete. And that was so-and-so. And when I went this year, all that was packed up. You couldn't see it. That broke my heart. Okay, next one. Well, what am I on there?
Congress.
Sorry?
Looks like the Titanic.
The biggest ship built.
Queen Mary.
Queen Mary. It was great. I dressed up every night because I had dinner with the captain. He was so nice because he would let me go up to see whatever, down whatever. Okay, next one. And that is my wonderful mother. Mother, I know you're listening to me. God bless you. I talked to her every night. She dressed me up because I was asked to go, God, I can't think of the guy, to a TV show back in the...
Mike Douglas.
Mike Douglas?
Mike Douglas is Mike Douglas show.
I don't think so. No? Oh, for some reason I didn't come. Anyway, a wonderful show, and he says Mike Douglas. I'm not sure about that. But anyway, I got all dressed. I was the only girl that had been on his show, and that's how I went. Okay? Oh! Who is that? When I got a letter, and a week later, 2 girls, no, a guy and a girl came, and we sat, and I said, why are you here? I said, we just want to get to know you, and see how you are, and how you talk, and see what kind of a person you are. I said, well, I'm a pretty normal person. So then the next 4 days, Bezos comes with 4 more people and 4 cameras in my small apartment watching every move I make. Now, at that point, he's telling me, I'm going into space, and I want to take you with me. Next slide. I could not believe what he was saying. It was incredible. And at that point, when I was hugging him, come here. I was hugging him, and when I hugged, I would go like that. I said, oh my God, you don't have a butt. He thought that was so funny that carried us on into the rest of when we were together. He would always kind of wink at me because I've never done that before, but it just so happened that I was so happy I just came on down to, you don't have a butt, like most guys. So anyway, that's been the funny story. Don't need to tell anybody that. So that's my living room with all the pictures. There's now all of his stuff he's given me way over here, and you're all invited whenever you want to come over. And then pictures all the way down into my living room. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with them. I have to put them in albums, and I'm not there yet. My brain is still up in space. Thank you. So that's how it started, okay? And that is his Pilates. And Steve that saw me, oh man, I could hardly wait to get in there. And they said, get in the right seat. I couldn't understand the instruments because I'm used to round instruments. They're all now square with all kinds of stuff in them. I don't know if there's a picture of that or not. Let's try the next one. Oh, yeah. There's airspeed and RPM and all that, and I had no idea. I said, just tell me what to do and let me have the controls and the throttle, and that's all I needed. It was great. Steve was fantastic. So, and then he brought me back. So they came here and got me, and then took me back. And then this has happened 3 other times when I've gone to speak places. They'll bring their jet in, I'll get in and back. There is a place out here at DFW that is where Executive Jet. Thank you very much. Boy, you're smart.
Hang out with her. She's smart.
Well, I didn't know it until I got his card. So anyway, off we go. Next one. And we land here at Van Horn, and he owns all his property, 50-some hundred acres. And where you see the vehicle there that I went up in, that's where that is. He has different things all over that acreage. And you'll see next one. Oh, that's the trailer I was in. They had fabulous trailers all decked out for each person. And then I could come to the white thing here in that building there and eat breakfast. Next one. They even put my name on it, and they said that will be on there forever. Wow, okay, next one. And then this is the living room, bedroom, and the bathroom's here, but they've got that picture up there. I don't know how they got it when I was at Fort Sill. Wow. Next one. Next one. So, this is the young lady that took care of me. She got me wherever I needed to go, and I want you to come up here.
Oh, God. Yes, dear.
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
That's all right. I could do anything to you. Smile. So Audrey, or Leslie, said, I'm going to come and pick and get you up or wake you up every morning at 4:30 or 5 because you've got to eat and you have to be in school by 7:30.
Yes, Mother.
So they all have keys to the places where we stay. Put your hands down. Relax, relax.
I am.
So when she came in to wake me up, I had earplugs in. I wear a thing over here, my eyes, and I feel, oh, that felt so good. And then she did it again.
Give you an hour to stop it.
Oh, you're right. You can sit down now.
Thank you.
You guys try it on each other. You or your husbands. That feels so good when they're asleep and you want to wake them up. Just go. I don't wear anything when I sleep, so she was hands on skin. And I said, wow, that felt so good. I said, you do that to everybody? She said, well, yeah. So Leslie took care of me, and that's the story that goes with her getting me up. Okay, next one. And then here's the boys. Oh, there was a guy there giving out watches, and they're the type of watch that are too big for me, and I didn't really care for them. I have my little one I use on my right side. And then I have a red dot. When I teach flying, if I teach you to fly, I want you to put a dot on your clock because I want you to have the same time as I have, so I know that you're here at the right time, and we're going to get in the airplane and fly wherever we're going to go at the same time. So all my students have red dots on their phone, on their watches. Well, those watches were too big for me. Besides, there was too much stuff. I just want the time of the day. Next. Every night, we had a great dinner. He had food and people that came and served us from New York. Brought all this. Can you believe that? And it was good. Okay. There are the Blue Origin figures like that. I wanted to get out of the car and go have my picture taken, and she said, no, you can't do that. So I got that. So that he had, now, look at all that towards the mountains and over the mountains is his area. That's what he bought. That's what his land is. That's where all the space stuff is. I can't tell you where everything is because I don't know. Next one. Well, one day we went up hiking. I think he wanted to know if I could do it. Yeah, I'm only 45. So we got on up, okay, next one. Up the hill, and the two boys are there together, and they're taking pictures. Next one. Wow. All of that area is, 40, 50 miles, if you've ever been in that area. Now, friends of mine wanted to come and see the whole thing that's shot. They had to get permission to go on top of the mountain. He doesn't let anybody on his roads. He has about 6 or 7 or 8 roads that go places. The police will stop. You're not allowed in there. So I didn't know that they were there. Okay, next one. Okay, now we're in school. 4 days of sitting there and listening to an instructor who was quite good, and then we would go into the capsule here and learn to put our belts on. Now, I've been in belts all my life. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're in tight. And then I didn't do it good enough, so they came and tightened it up more. So we learned that. We learned about the hemisphere and how high we were going to go. We were going to be gone, the vehicle took us, let's go to the next slide. That's just a picture of getting in the vehicle, the round vehicle, the next one. We practiced in that quite a bit, not that particular one, but that is going to be sitting on the rocket. Next one. And I'm just horsing around do I have, no, I don't have all my belts on. Oh, and they came here and measured me so that suit with all the interior, what would you call it, to keep you warm, insulation, was fantastic. I wanted to wear it the other day, but I didn't want to wear it out somewhere. But it's just all fabulous. I don't know if I'll ever wear it again. Next one. Next one. Now that is the engine that took me up. That was underneath the shuttle, the big shuttle. Next one.
Check the nuts. Did you check the nuts on it?
No, it's all wired. He had about this room full of rows, probably 50 rows of guys and their computers. I couldn't believe it. I said, why do you have to have so many people at their computers? He said, because there's one item that they're doing to make everything absolutely correct on this launch. I didn't understand it at first, but now I do because nothing ever went wrong. Okay? Now, this is inside, with his feather, inside the hangar, or the barn. Okay, next one. There's the barn. And that's not where we take off from. There's a road that goes clear around, and we may have been clear up there where you see that other road up there or here. I don't know. There was never a map that I could have to see where we were. Okay? That's the barn again. Okay? Now, you all saw it on TV where the vehicle landed, right? On TV, did you see where it landed? Right there on the feather. Perfect! I don't know how he did it so well. Okay, next one. Okay, now this is just a practice. We're going up the steps. How many flights? 9 flights up. Well, that was no big deal for me. So we went up. Okay, next one. And now we're just practicing because the vehicle is not there yet. The rocket's not there. He said, now, there will be a room there. If something ever happens, a fire or whatever, you'll be going in there and you'll be safe. Next one. Oh, the next day, the vehicle's there. It was brought in by truck from the barn. So, in a minute, you'll see me going up these steps and getting into the capsule. And that's how they transported it. I thought it was great. Next one. And here's the four of us, and the car has to go around to let us out. And that was the last picture that we had when we were on the ground. Okay, here we are, going up all those steps. And I didn't miss a thing. And then I had to click the little bell as we were going. You probably saw that on TV. Okay. And now I'm going in the capsule, and my seat is off to the left. I'm number 3. And Oliver, the young boy, the 18-year-old, is number 1. So he went to the left, I went to the left, and Jeff and his brother went to the right. That's a pretty small capsule. And this next flight that they're going to do, they're going to have 6. I don't know how they're going. They can't get up out of their seats because I had a hard time. Okay, next one. Then it's locked from the inside. Next one. And there I am. They had pictures everywhere. I was so lucky to get some of these. And I was going to put a card, you might see it, to take a picture of the world. But you know what? When we got up to about, 50-some miles, it became black. The atmosphere was black, and I didn't know that. And they said, yes, that is correct, because you have to get up through that to get up to have and see the area to see where the world is. I was kind of disappointed, but then that's the way it is. Okay, next. That seat was so enjoyable, I could have fallen asleep on the lift going up. And you know what? There were no bumps. Not even, it would be just kind of like that. Less than anything you'd feel in your car going down the road. So here we are getting ready. I'm all tied up. And we're lifting off. I had a screen on my right telling me how many feet we were going, how fast we were going, and it was incredible. Next. It was just incredible to go up 64 miles. Yep, go ahead. And then that was the contrail that we left behind. And now we're in weightlessness. And I'm getting out of my seat, and I want to turn around and do cartwheel, but Oliver's feet were a little too close to my head. And I thought, I don't need to have a problem here. So I did what I wanted to do, because the guys were doing their thing on their other side. They were throwing balls to each other. And so I turned around once, and then I sat down in my seat, and it was so beautiful up there, even though it was black, but it was so gentle. And so then when we started coming down through the atmosphere, it felt like you're just sitting there. You didn't hear anything. My ears weren't, somebody said, weren't your ears? No, we only had earplugs. So no, my ears didn't do anything. And then, when those chutes came out, I knew there were 3. Bump was 1, 2, 3. That was the only, wasn't that nothing? A little bit of a bump. Okay. The sun got a great shot of the parachutes coming down. But what's very interesting is that I saw the dust, and we hadn't landed yet. There were 3 engines underneath our vehicle to slow us down. We landed at 1 mile an hour. And all the dust came up before we ever landed. Can you believe that? I saw the dust before we landed. Okay? And then we're on, and there's more dust. Where did that come from? Okay? And then, obviously, you saw that one. When I'm coming out, I'm so excited. I just didn't want it to end. Okay? And you've seen that one. Okay? Now, it is his thing, Jeff's deal, to have champagne and spray it on everybody around there. Well, they gave me a bottle, but I didn't quite know what to do with it, and I don't drink, so I just gave it away. I didn't want to get sprayed with champagne. His hat had it all over it, but I don't even know where I was in this picture. I think maybe there, I'm not sure, but here's the champagne that's going up. And next. And that's his girlfriend. She is so beautiful. And here she owns a helicopter business. So the two of them are both millionaires. Okay? And then, as we're getting back into the normal area, where we, at our ground school area, they had the press come in, and I was able to tell them how I felt and how fabulous the whole thing was. And I think that might be the last picture. Yeah.
That last photo, you look half your age. That's a gorgeous photo. It's just
Thank you. Well, I'm a happy kid. So I think that's it, honey. Oh, no. When we came back here and landed at DFW, they did a waterfall. So I've gone back several times to thank the gentleman at that building. So, let's see, where'd the card go that came in? So, I could go on with more, but I'm so thrilled it finally happened after being through all of it in the 60s, and now here we are, 2000 something, and I get to go. Now, there's one, I went to Russia for a week. I was there 3 times, actually, and went through all of the cosmonaut training. They were wonderful. They let me, because I wanted to meet Valentina Tereshkova. She was the first girl to go up, and they really didn't advertise that. So I wanted to meet her, and I had a book, and I wanted to give it to her. And then they said, Wally, we want to put you in the tank. Fine. Put your swimsuit on, okay? They had a huge, big tank, and I get in it, and the same thing happened in New Mexico, the tank. You get in it, and you're lay out like this, and and you have, I had about the size of a brick of styrofoam here and here. Jerry Cobb, who's my friend, who's no longer with us, had a whole big suit on. But I only had those 2 pieces. So I had to get them positioned correctly so that I could lay out there like that and not have to mess with things. So I'm out there laying, and pretty soon I don't feel the water. I don't feel the water. I don't taste the water. And all there is it's dark. There's no lights, there's no camera, there's nothing. What have they done to this water? It was exactly my same temperature of 97 degrees. Perfect. You were in weightlessness. I don't know where I can tell you all to go to do this, because it has to be your temperature. It was a great test. I have had so many physical tests I can't tell you. Up you, down you, in you, up around you, no matter. They knew everything that's in my body. The Russians did it, and they did it for the Mercury 13. But that weightlessness was fantastic. So there's more and more I could tell you, but I've probably spoken too long already.
I'm sure there's some questions. Would you take
I know, I was going to ask about that. Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever flown a glider?
Oh, heavens, I've got all my gliding. I have all the ratings, thank you. I have all the ratings that the FAA has that you could get, all up to airline transport rating. I'm also a jet pilot. Okay, somebody give me some more. Yes, sir.
What would you like to fly? Where would you like to go next? Is there anything left?
No, you're right. I want to go back, and I call him once a week. I don't get to talk to Jeff. but I get to talk to the girls that took care of me. And I said, oh, it's so great. And then when what's his name went up, one of one of the girls that took care of me went up. I said, how was he? He was loud. Then there's a gentleman that was on that flight that had an accident. So I want to go, but it's millions of dollars. I just felt very, very lucky that I could have done it. Come on, give me some more questions.
Any money? Well, your sister's question got answered because she said it was just like,
I want to go. That's a question. Can I go?
Well, do you have about $20 million, honey?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Borrow it from her.
good luck.
No, if you do, I'll give you the address and the girls. You have to call me. Get something to write my phone number down. Or she's got it. Yes, sir.
Other than your steering, what aircraft did you enjoy flying the most?
What? Other than my steerman?
Your steerman. Yes.
What else did you say?
What aircraft did you enjoy flying the
The
most?
steerman.
Other than the steerman, what was next?
Oh, well, all the other airplanes that I flew were airplanes that I was teaching in. Cessnas, Pipers. I like high-wing aircraft to teach people in. They can get the idea of going down the runway. You have to use a little bit of right rudder, and then as I'll tell somebody, they say, I don't want to fly it. I said, let me have your hands a minute. I said, we're going to put your right hand on the throttle, and your left hand is going to be on the yoke, and I'm going to take it down the runway, and I'm going to tell you what to do. So here we go. I said, okay, put the throttle all the way in. Okay, now come back on the wheel 1/2 inch, and before we know it, we're off. And I did that I have an 8-year-old, and I had her take off the very first time. And when we took off and the ground was underneath us, whoa! We both were screaming. She's great. I don't have her number anymore. Question? Yes, sir.
So I know you love to fly, and you love to fly, fast and do a lot of stuff too. What's your least favorite thing about flying? Do you have anything that you don't like to do about flying?
I do acrobatics.
Yeah.
That's what you're asking.
No, I was asking if there's anything you don't like to do when you fly, or.
Oh no, I do it all. No, nothing bothers me. I've never had an engine failure or anything problem. Now, being an investigator first girl to be an investigator for the NTSB, 10 years. I was first 5 years with the FAA doing reports, and then doing accidents. One of the accidents that I did, I was living at Hermosa Beach. I got a call, come to San Diego. So I hopped in the car and I got down there really quick. Holy cow, half of San Diego is destroyed. Well, it brought me in. A jetliner was coming into land, 727, and a 172 or 150, I can't remember now. The first officer in the jet had lowered his seat so he could see the instruments better, so he couldn't see outside. Well, that happens the last 4 minutes of flight. So here comes the 172 and runs right into the airplane. Everything broke up, exploded, and fire. And so when I get there, I can't tell you, it's bigger than this building. I was pulling arms out and legs out and people out. Of course, they were all gone. But we wanted to get, so when people ask me, do you get kind of bugged off about dead people? No. Or animals. I've been on every animal there is in Africa, even an alligator. Has anybody been on an alligator? You want to be? Well, I'll tell you what you do is when they have to bring the alligator up, you put your hands over their eyes, and then you step over it, over your eyes, and you can ride it. It was the most great thing. I've done every animal there is to do in Africa. Is ride the thing. But anyway, back to the accident. I've done over 450 accidents. You'll go do
It's on
that.
air disasters. It was on fairly recently, what you're talking about.
What?
Your
San
whole
Diego.
thing, the San Diego. It was on air disasters.
Air disasters is a
TV
show on
show.
TV.
Which one?
The Air Disaster TV show, that crash you
were on
covered
it.
was on there.
I wouldn't know that.
Yeah, you were.
Oh, did they show you all the bad stuff?
And the whole
What was it?
172.
Wait a minute, somebody replayed that then. I only have TV, so I don't get that stuff. Does anybody have it to where I can see it?
Yeah, come on over.
Oh, you have to come over to my place.
We can't watch at your house if you don't have Roku or something.
No, I only have TV. It's probably on your
Or laptop.
computer? Yeah. I would love to see it, honey.
It's saved on my TV.
Okay, do you have it on yours? Okay. Anyway, a lot of my accents have been on, and that was probably the worst of the accents that I've done, because when the NTSB goes out, they're all fatals. So when this guy that had just gone up with Jeff, I was quite anxious to read the paper to see what he had done. He landed in a field of, what, where a lot of trees are. So there's always only 4 things that can go wrong. You're not thinking, you're getting in the weather, you might be running out of gas, or there's something wrong with the engine. Somebody was trying to call me and say, well, I think this and this and this. I said, no. There's only 4 things that can happen, and the NTSB is probably not going to print it.
Did you cover our crash here, 191 or 1147 with Delta? We had 2 crashes back then.
No, that was back when I was still in California. I think I went to it. Wasn't that in the 60s, 70s?
82 and 85.
Oh, okay. No. So anyway, I have a whole lot of stuff about accident investigation and how it can tear up towns or maybe just a highway. So there's always a lot of questions about accident investigations that people normally have, and I can't get anything out of you guys, huh? Yes, ma'am.
Any wars, Vietnam or anything?
Did I go there?
Uh-huh.
No.
No?
No, I didn't go where they fought.
Oh, okay.
I just used my gun to do the thing.
Do you remember the flying coals? C-O-L-E-S?
Flying
The
coal?
flying coals.
Is that a airplane?
Biplane.
Acrobats.
Oh, is that a guy or a girl?
It was a bunch of family members. That was
That name doesn't come to my mind right now.
before your time, maybe.
Might have been, but I love to do acrobatics. Boy, by Stearman, I was doing them all the time.
Have you ever been to the Rhinebeck Aerodrome in Rhinebeck, New York, where they fly the World War I planes?
No, I've seen a lot of the World War I picture, the hanging up.
Got one more question back here, Wally.
Oh, good.
What was your most difficult task or job?
Wait a minute. I don't hear that well.
What has been your most difficult task or certification or plane to fly?
Certification was easy for me to get all the ratings I have. I have about 12 or 13 ratings, include guiding and coming down with parachutes and so forth.
What about an NTSB or a difficult task you had to do?
Well, no, NTSB was neat for me. They had me go to Washington and be interviewed, because I'd already been with the FAA 5 years, and I had known a lot of the guys at NTSB there in Los Angeles, and they all said, we want you to be our first girl investigator. Woo! Yes, I'll do it.
Didn't have to twist your arm, huh? They didn't have to twist your arm.
What brings you to Grapevine? Okay, let's see. I've lived all over the United States, and I came to Grapevine in, I can't tell you the date, but I was at Roanoke. What's the name of the city that has the Trophy Club? I lived at Trophy Club, and I helped build the house there. And I came there, and I had all of my stuff, but there was a lady at Northwest Regional that wanted me to come and be her chief pilot. And right now I can't think of her name. She's no longer with us. So that's how I got into Texas. But I had been to many, many states as a chief pilot. That was always my indication of being who I was, a chief pilot.
Well, what brought you to Grapevine?
Oh, well, the house sold, and, God, 10 years ago or so, I had to have the hip and the knee replaced, so that was done at the hospital, and then my guy that was helping me found the apartment where I am, because I was living in help homes, and he found that, and that's where I've been for 11 years. It's great. I'll invite any of you to come and see me. I want you to come and see me. Thank you all so very much. You're wonderful.